It's a garden week, final garden week of the year. Well, the final garden video of the year. I might still be doing a few bits and bobs around the garden during the winter, but this is the last one until I start my spring planning. Hello again and welcome to Blue Garden Cottage. I've been tidying up this week. I'm tidying up under the potting shed. I've been cutting out all the excess of that rose, of the jasmine. There's one Cape gooseberry that has not fruited at all this year, so I've cut that right the way down. And the other one, I've taken all the yellowing and fading and drooping leaves off. There's new shoots at the bottom, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. But there are a few fruits left just over the tops, so I'm going to give it a feed today just to finish off ripening some of the fruit there, and in 2 weeks time, whether they're ripe or not, I'll just chop it all the way down, ready for next year, to all the new shoots at the bottom, and they'll continue to overwinter under here. In the spring I'll give them bigger pots with fresh soil just to keep them going, and then that will make those Cape gooseberry, well, that one particularly, 4 years old. So it's been perennial. I don't know how much longer it'll last, but hopefully as long as I keep feeding it and looking after it and keeping it under cover over winter, hopefully it'll keep going for a good few years yet. I've taken all the beans down that were in here, and I'm putting in that potato I've had on my kitchen window for a while. It was a section of potato I cut off and then stuck it on the window, and it has been sprouting little potatoes all the while, so hopefully it'll give me a few plants, and I'll just cover that up a bit. As it grows, I'll cover it up a bit more. And that is damp soil, but it's not wet, so it's a little bit cold, but hopefully under here it'll be protected enough to keep going, and I might have some potatoes for Christmas. To work under here, I've just given all the rose geranium a trim. It does need a proper cutting back before winter, I think, but this has been a very hardy rose geranium, so I'm going to trim them back. I've got some I'll take cuttings from to grow more, and the perfume on here is absolutely gorgeous. It smells like roses under here while I've been working and brushing past it. Ooh, ideas are popping in my head. Dangerous. This is too thick. That has been that canker type damage to the tree. So that bit I'm going to cut off. I've got leaks in there. Right, let's get this root out. Get the other apple in. Well, it's not too wet. No, apples don't like being very wet. That looks like it could be a nice little garden ornament. So it's not the soil that was the problem. There must have been, I don't know what causes canker. I'll have to look it up because I don't want it happening again. I have literally just spotted, you see this little fungus growing in my garden. Right? Oh, you can't see it. It is really odd. It's black and it's got white tips. Looks a bit like deer antlers. I have no idea what it is, but it's growing on wood, and it was at the bottom of the pot for the apple tree. So wonder if I shall put it back in that spot and see what it becomes, and then I'll check out whether it's a good guy or a bad guy in the garden. How could it be a bad guy? It's breaking down wood. Yeah, probably because I don't want it growing by the pergola and breaking down that wood. Very interesting. It's so fascinating. Getting this out without damaging it, that's going to be the trick.
Why? Because it's stuck in there.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, babe. Oh, look at that. Let's put it. So I'm going to get some bone meal, and then I want to twist it so that the fans are going sideways, because it's got fans, so it'll have
You
to.
can just pull it back on itself and show stuff underneath it.
Will do, thank you, babe. Rose and shrub feed, but it's all I've got, so I'm using it. My more affordable source of compost is no longer in season from the hardware shops and places like that, because they do things seasonally. But so if I want compost now, I'm gonna have to go to the garden centres regularly right now to get this apple out. How do I do that without damaging you? Because who knows what type of apple you are, what rootstock you are. You might not be happy in a, oh, there's a main tap root there. So you should be alright. Another year or two before you tell me what you are. There, another apple tree. Let's use the bird box. Clean it out and give the birds fresh food. That'll do. Save me back. I'm going to turn you around the other way because you've got a long limb growing that way. Some more soil from the pot. A bit more of this. I'm going to put in another pot. Because you need protecting on the. Oh, I was putting it that way because you don't want it to fall that way. I'll deal with you in a minute. Give me your dangly CDs to stop the mice eating your bark. I think I'll put that fig in the ground in the front garden next year. The sucker that was off the apple tree that was in that pot before, I've put back in that pot. We'll soon find out what kind of apple tree it is. Taking the canes out of this bed. The soil is all tidied up and covered around the apple tree. Hope she'll be happy in her new location. I have no idea what type of mushrooms those are, what fungus. I am panicking that it might be honey fungus, because we do not want that anywhere in the garden. So I'm hoping somebody could tell me what that is. This is a new little one. Look at that. From under the bed, so it's from the wood logs we had underneath. It's not staining any colour. It's got, does have a frill. No idea what it is. But I better get rid of it anyway, just in case it's not good for buttons, and I'll wash my hands. Look at the size of that. It was supposed to be those little ball carrots. And just look at the size of it. Obviously, I've let them go quite a bit long. There's a couple more in there on the other side as well, and they're just as big. Wow. I got some seeds, carrot seeds here. I've got to put these away now before the rain comes again. I'll do that now before I go in. And I'll hang the seed heads up to dry properly. That's my carrot seeds for next year. They weren't an F1 variety, not a hybrid, so hopefully they will have the same kind of growth as the ones we grew this year. That's the only seed heads I've got this year from it, so yep, I got some seeds. So I'll take them indoors and dry them out. Oh, look at that. Yep, there's seed in there. I've cut some of the water mint. The rose geranium, I'm going to dry indoors, I think, and make a potpourri out of it because, oh my days, the smell is gorgeous. Tomatoes still ripening fine out here, so I'm going to leave them out here. Oh, I'm done. I've got loads to do indoors. There is still more tidying up to do, and I'll do that throughout the winter and putting some things in place and taking things up, moving things around. And you'll see all of that updated near the end of winter, beginning of spring, when I start the garden videos again. Because of course, gardening doesn't stop because winter approaches. We're still doing stuff garden related. And one of the first things I do through December, January actually, in January, the first things I do is get my seed collections out and start looking at what I'm going to be planting when and setting up the calendars. And so even in the winter, there are jobs that can be done garden related. I'll share them with you as I do them. In the meantime, I've also got to check out what I'm supposed to do with pruning and cutting back of that grapevine. Make sure it grows better next year, because we put it into a double pot. We cut the bottom out of that top one, we cut the bottom out of that one and stuck it on top of another one with more soil in, so that it's got double the root depth. Petunia's grown from seed from last year, so I'm going to keep these seeds. I'm going to pick them as well. So I've got carrot seeds, and look there, petunia is still growing. So I've got homegrown seed to gather again, so that for 2 years in a row I won't have to buy petunia seeds, and they seem to grow better from my homegrown ones anyway. Oh, I got dandelion growing in there. That's good. I can pick some of those for tea. Oh, this rose is still going. It's not a scented one, but it's still beautiful. So I need to prune these down as well. Give them a feed in. It's still warm enough. It's not like a proper, like a usual autumn, so I've still got time to do that. Okay, folks. I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'll catch up with you in the next video. It'll be a surprise, whatever that is, to me and all. I've just taken off the last of my passion fruit, and I'll do something with that indoors. So to all those who think you cannot grow passion fruit in the UK, what do you think this is? Show you what I do with this. I've got another one, and one that I opened up in the freezer. As soon as this one starts wrinkling, it'll be ripe and have the best flavor. So when that's done, I'll show you what I do with it. Just as I thought I was finished with this week's video, lo and behold, another crisis happens, as they tend to come by the dozen all at once for this family. We tend to be crisis magnets. Today we discovered that there was a big hole in the plastic roofing. A neighbour's cat dropped through there. Didn't know what it was the other day, but I do remember hearing a crashing sound under here, but I came out, it was dark, couldn't see any problems at all, and obviously today we discovered there was a problem, that there was a big hole in the plastic sheet tin. to top that as well, my microphone, lavalier microphone set is no good. So the volume's not going to be that good. To top that all the rain we've had since the weekend, the torrential rains, the dollhouse was down over there directly under the hole. It's got absolutely soaked. We had to get mold killer in there because there's mold all over the place. Some of the edging of the balcony bit off the roof are completely ruined, all of them. The roof completely molded, all that damage, and this is a very expensive doll's house. And even though we didn't pay the full price for it as if brand new, we did pay a hefty price for it. That's why it was staying undercover here, to be protected till I could do it up. Anyway, there was a short little gap in the weather today. Got stuck into trying to fix this because I had a spare sheet that was down there, but turns out that that too had a crack in it, so we used it doubled up to cover the hole there on the one and the crack on the newer one, which was also too short. So we've got 2 layers over there, and the other one also had a crack, but we have nothing to replace it with. We cannot get this one anymore from anywhere local. We couldn't afford to replace it anyway, so we've just put them back up with some temporary fixes, a double sheet here to cover the holes. Hopefully that'll hold up, and by the spring we will have to have saved up quite a bit to replace the entire roof, because it looks like there's some damage there as well. I mean, this has been up 5 years, so this plastic, and this is a south-facing corner of the house, it's going to corrode, it's going to get hardened and more brittle. I am not replacing this stuff with more of it. I'm going to get the flat, double-walled one with the corrugated bits inside. I can't remember what they call it, polycarbonate or something. I'm going to replace it with that. But I'm going to have to save up, because that is pretty expensive as well, but it has to last longer than 5 years, seriously. Oh my days. When it rains, it pours. Especially in this house, it just never stops. The car door lock, the catch is playing up. It's gone stiff and hard no matter what we do, even with WD-40. So that's going to have to go back to the garage. The fridge is constantly leaking all the time no matter what we do. So, and that's not that old. We've only had that a few years. My lavalier microphone's packing up. There was something else packing up. I can't remember what it was. But just around us, everything seems to be coming apart and failing and dying on us. And, well, oh yes, the cooker, because the oven is gone. The microwave, I find today, I went to clean the microwave out. As I was cleaning it out, I saw there was some of the plastic coating that coats the metal on the inside. Some of that's bubbled, and there's a little bit of rust on the inside, which means that technically that microwave is no good anymore. So the microwave's packed up. I'm still using it though until it completely packs up. Probably isn't a safe thing to be using, but oh my days, I've got to laugh or I'd cry. In fact, I'm at the verge of crying, so somebody please tell me a joke. Oh, this is a joke. Bit of soup and some bread. That's it for supper tonight. I am not stressing anymore. Anyway, I'll get this video to you before I go to bed, come what may. And I forgot to harvest the carrot seeds. Oh well, there we go. Take care, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And I'm sorry I couldn't leave you on a more positive note. Seriously, this is the least way I want to part with you at the end of a video. I remind myself things could always be far worse than they are. suppose I'll have to convince myself that when things pack up and break, it's less to have to maintain and look after. I'll see you in the next video. I make no promises that you'll have one before next week. So until then, do have a wonderful end of the week and weekend. And I shall speak to you next week, which is a home week. And I have got a few things to show you for that. All right, people. Love you loads. Take care. Bye-bye.